Welcome to the channel, and today we'll be breaking down music sales terms like equivalent sales and pure sales, and this is essential if you want to understand articles about music sales in general in this era. For those of you who requested this topic a while ago, sorry, I forgot about this until I got a comment on one of my recent videos to break this down, so here we go. In addition, before we get started, remember that the meanings of the terms I will be discussing in this video are standard across the music industry around the world, although the formulas vary depending on the country. I will explain more on this later on in the video, and as always, remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel and turn on notifications. In the United States, for instance, SoundScan began tracking actual music sales since 1991, and before the SoundScan era, music shipment figures were reported instead. SoundScan is the primary source for magazines like Billboard, who have the most popular Hot 100 singles chart and Billboard 200 album sales chart, and ET Lifestyle also uses SoundScan figures when reporting music sales in the United States. You can check out our previous video about the best-selling artists in the United States since music sales tracking began in 1991. Now, since 1991, the music industry underwent a lot of changes. The market moved from cassettes to CDs, digital downloads, and most recently, music streaming. Because of this, music sales tracking have also undergone changes, especially in recent years. And today, I'll break down some of these new terms used to report music sales. And make no mistake, most of these terms were developed as damage control measures. Customers were no longer interested in purchasing the vast majority of albums and reserved their $10 for only albums they truly valued. To combat the declining consumer interest to purchase albums, the music industry decided to include what is known as album equivalent units, which includes traditional album sales, song downloads, and music streams, and this all comes together as equivalent album units sold.
Yeah. I'm just gonna write down.
For traditional album sales, which is often referred to as pure album sales, this includes the purchase of an entire album in physical or digital format. For instance, purchasing a physical copy of Eminem's Kamikaze will count towards pure album sales. Also, purchasing Kamikaze on platforms like iTunes or Google Play Music will also count towards pure album sales. And based on traditional album sales, Kamikaze is indeed the best-selling hip-hop album of 2018. We move on to song downloads that make up track equivalent sales. When a song is purchased 10 times, it is counted as one equivalent album sale. This is where things start to get tricky because purchasing just one song on the album 10 times counts as an album sale. For instance, if 10 friends only like one song on Kamikaze and they all purchase one song on iTunes, for the sake of this example, let's say 10 friends all purchase Lucky You on Kamikaze. These 10 purchases will translate to one album sale despite just being Lucky You that was purchased 10 times. Now we move on to music streams, and this is the bit of equivalent sales that have come under the most criticisms in recent years for obvious reasons. In the United States, for instance, from late 2014 to mid-2018, streaming equivalent album sales were calculated as 1,500 song streams equal to one album sale, so listening to a particular song 1,500 times on platforms like Spotify translated to one album sale. Since July 2018, however, premium streams and ad-supported streams have been separated, and now 1,250 premium streams count as one album sale, and 3,750 ad-supported streams count as one album sale. For album sales, Billboard is yet to include video streams, so YouTube views don't contribute to album sales yet in the United States, but there's a twist which will be discussed later on in this video. Now that you know what traditional track and streaming equivalent album sales are individually, all these figures are combined for an album, and Billboard uses the total to rank albums on the Billboard 200 albums chart. So let's say Kamikaze sold 100,000 pure albums, 300,000 songs from the album on iTunes, and was streamed 50 million times by premium Spotify users. All these figures will be combined and reported as sales of 170,000 equivalent album units sold by Billboard. And because of this, using the term best-selling album is actually wrong when reporting album sales using equivalent sales. The US Billboard 200 is now a ranking for the most popular albums, and a separate chart now called Top Selling Albums is actually the chart that represents the best-selling albums of the week. Now it's time to discuss the twist I mentioned earlier when talking about streaming equivalent album sales, and in the United States, for instance, SoundScan, the primary source for Billboard, and the RIAA, that is responsible for handing out record certifications, are currently not on the same page when it comes to music sales. An album can be certified 3 times platinum by the RIAA, but according to SoundScan figures, could have sold just 1 million equivalent units in the United States. This is because 1. The RIAA includes audio and video streams at 1,500 streams equal to 1 album sale, while SoundScan doesn't count video streams towards album sales. In addition, SoundScan revised their formula to separate premium streams and ad-supported streams, whereas the RIAA still uses 1,500 streams as 1 album sale regardless. Furthermore, doing business deals to give customers your album for free, like Jay-Z has done several times, will earn you a platinum certification from the RIAA, but this will not be counted as sales by SoundScan and will not reflect on Billboard 200. So in a way, everything is all over the place right now. A platinum certification means 1 million according to the RIAA, but doesn't according to SoundScan. Music streams can be manipulated, a single hot song can make an album go platinum, and in the end, equivalent sales is just a more marketable way of saying most popular album on all accessible media platforms. Now that you understand all these metrics for what constitutes as equivalent sales, remember the Billboard 200 in the United States now ranks most popular albums rather than best-selling albums, so in the end, here's a perfect example. Kamikaze is the best-selling hip-hop album of the year and Drake's Scorpion is the most popular hip-hop album of the year. Calling Scorpion the best-selling album of the year is just a marketing ploy, and this is technically a false statement based on the facts of what equivalent sales represent as defined by Billboard. The top album sales chart still exists, but is just no longer at the forefront of Billboard magazine for obvious reasons. And here's another example of the discrepancies between Billboard reports and the RIAA. On the 3rd of October 2018, Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy album was certified 2 times platinum in the United States by the RIAA, yet according to Billboard reports, which is based on SoundScan figures, latest equivalent sales figures for Invasion of Privacy as of last week were 1.8 million equivalent album units sold. If you paid attention earlier in the video, you know the reason for this discrepancy. All this time we've been talking about the United States, and although all major record industry associations in the world now apply equivalent sales in their albums chart ranking, the formula for these conversions are vastly different. For instance, like we discussed earlier, in the United States, 1,250 premium audio streams count as 1 album sale, but this is different for other countries. In the United Kingdom, for instance, the figure is 1,000 streams that count as 1 album sale, and this is not as straightforward as it is done in the United States. The official charts company, which is UK's version of Billboard, takes the 12 most streamed tracks from an album, with the top 2 most streamed tracks given less weight to provide a more accurate popularity reflection of the entire album, rather than only the most popular songs on the album, and this adjusted streaming figure is then divided by 1,000 to reveal the total streaming equivalent sales. Germany's methodology for tracking streaming equivalent sales is also different from the United States, and here, since albums are ranked based on revenue rather than units sold, only paid streams count towards the German album sales chart. Similar to the UK rule about the top 2 most streamed tracks having less weight, it goes farther in Germany, and the top 2 most streamed tracks are not counted towards total album equivalent sales, so having 1 hot song on your album in Germany will not increase your chart position on the German albums chart. In addition, loading your album with 25 songs may work in the United States and inflate streaming figures, but this wouldn't work in the United Kingdom or Germany, as only a maximum of 12 songs will be counted. Now, for those of you who have been watching our videos from the beginning, this should clear things up, and feel free to share this video with your friends, especially those who believe Drake's Scorpion is the best-selling hip-hop album of 2018, as this is false. Of course, magazines would rather publish articles with headlines that encourage clicks to their websites, but you know what I say about mainstream media in most of my videos. In conclusion, the equivalent sales mumbo-jumbo was just a marketing ploy to cover up the holes that consumer behavior left in the industry when they turned away from purchasing albums, and rather than just creating new charts for streams and track equivalent sales, these were added to official sales charts to patch declining sales figures. Remember, artists pay the RIAA for certifications, and if only 2 or 3 artists were going platinum in a year, how will the RIAA make money? In 2018, for instance, only the soundtrack album for The Greatest Showman has been able to sell over 1 million pure albums in the United States. So do you still wonder why the RIAA includes everything, including YouTube views, to hand out platinum certifications these days? Tell us what you think in the comment section below, and if you're interested in supporting this channel, consider donating to our PayPal at the link in the description of this video. Thanks for watching, remember to subscribe if you haven't, and have a nice day.